All praises, honor, and glory be to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the elder, apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Aki out there in the gaps and the hedges, pushing his truth and sincerity. Safety, peace, and blessings to the blessed elect of the house of Israel across the four corners of the earth. As the title say, why should tithes be a mandate? Or is tithes a mandate? And I just want to get into a few scriptures as according to the Levitical priesthood, and bring out a few scriptures where it did change. As you see on your screen, I have Numbers, the 18th chapter and the 21st verse. And let's go get right into it. And it reads, Numbers 18 and 21. And behold, I have given the children of Levi all the tenth in Israel for an inheritance, for their service which they serve, even the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. Now, if you did know, the Levi is the third child of Jacob. All right, he is one of the tribes of Israel, one of the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, and he is the third born of Jacob loins. All right, so let's continue on. I don't want to move ahead of the scriptures, so to speak, and then I'll come back and explain it. Neither must the children of Israel henceforth come nigh the tabernacle of the congregation, lest they bear sin and die. But the Levites shall do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they shall bear their iniquity. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, that among the children of Israel they have no inheritance. Now, of course, as according to the title, speaking of tithes, we see at the 21st verse of Numbers 18, and behold, I have given the children of Levi all the tenth in Israel for an inheritance, for their service which they serve, even the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. So they prepared the sacrificial offerings for sins, peace offerings, and everything like that. If you want the full breakdown, I'm not going to go to it, but you could go to Deuteronomy, the 18th chapter, and it'll give you the full breakdown of the Levitical priesthood and their actions that they are to do concerning the tabernacle of the congregation, right? Concerning the whole house of Israel. But just to make it plain, we would have to bring them our first fruits and 10% of our goods, of what we have, because it was mostly land and cattle and possessions that we had. That was to be 10% of that. 10% the first fruits, 10% we would give to the Levitical priesthood, the sons of Aaron, right? That was their inheritance. That's what their job. Their job was basically, for lack of a better term, I hate to use this, but to keep the church. And that was fair. I think that's very fair and very beautiful that you give 10% to your Levite brother for doing the service of the Lord. That's beautiful. That is so beautiful. Now, like I said, this is the Levitical priesthood. Now, was the Levitical priesthood done away with? That's a good question. Yes, it was done away with. And first, before I pull that scripture, I wasn't going to do it in this order, but I'll do it in this order. Now, that was Numbers 18. But let's go back up to Exodus and see what was told the children of Israel by the mouth of Moses, by the mouth of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. And this is Exodus 19 and 6. And it reads, I'll start at 5. Exodus 19 and 5, and it reads, Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. For all the earth is mine, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. Now, as you see right here in Exodus, Levi wasn't separated at that time. So this is a future prophecy. in which this prophecy is upon us today. But this is a future prophecy before the Levitical priesthood was established, that we will become a kingdom, a priest, a royal priesthood. Now, we know in the kingdom, those that be to know, and if you didn't know, I'm going to say and tell you, paraphrasing, everybody should know the Lord in the kingdom, so everybody should be priests. And right now in this end, he's only dealing with his elect, you know, the 1/3 of Israel, which consists of the 144,000. All right. So they're going to be the priests on this side, on the first go around. And it makes sense that they will receive the first fruits of resurrection, right? But it's not specified that it's going to be Levi here in Exodus the 19th chapter, because the Levitical priesthood is under the Mosaic law, what they call a Mosaic law. And we know Yahushua came. But I just wanted to bring that out as we left Numbers 18. I wanted you to see that. First, I wanted to break down the Levitical priesthood, that he should receive a tenth of your increase and a tenth of your goods, what we call 10% today. Now, that was under the law. Now let's get what happened after Yahushua came on the scene. You know, let's get what happened after Yahushua came on the scene. And what do they say about Yahushua? He's a high priest, but he is not of the Levitical line. So let's go and get this. I'm going to just hit the key points. And this is Hebrews 7:11. If therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people received the law, what further need was there that another priest should rise after the order of Melchizedek, and not be called after the order of Aaron? For the priesthood being changed, there is made of a necessity a change also of the law. For he of whom these things are spoken pertaineth to another tribe, of which no man gave attendance at the altar. So it says right here clearly, for the priesthood in the 12th verse, Hebrews 7 chapter, for the priesthood being changed, there is made of a necessity a change also of the law. Now, I bring this out to say, if you prophesy and preaching the word, whether you be on the highways and the byways or the internet highway, should you not receive 10%? Should not every evangelist, or should not every priest receive 10%? Now, if we was under Levitical law, then therefore the other tribes would not be able to do that, because that would be their inheritance, as Yahushua said, as Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua said in Numbers the 18th chapter. That's why this scripture comes into play in Hebrews 7. It would need to be, paraphrasing, that the priesthood should be changed. Right? Priesthood should be changed, because it was further prophesied in Exodus the 19th chapter that we will be a kingdom of priests. Right? As well as it is prophesied. And as this is happening today. Alright? So when it comes to concerning tithes, I don't get it. That's not a mandate anymore. Unless, I guess, everybody pay everybody who is preaching and prophesying. You know? Now, I'm not saying that you cannot give a brother alms, because alms deeds is very beautiful. Alms deeds is very beautiful. When you pay alms, that's a gorgeous thing. Now let's look. Let's bring this up. No, first let me go in the order that I was going to go and get the next scripture, because I had something to come to my mind and I want to bring that up too. And just to further back up Exodus the 19th chapter, where it says you'll be a kingdom of priests. Let's get this precept in 1 Peter 2:9. And it says, 1 Peter 2:9, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should shew forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of the power of the Most High, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. Key point, but you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood. All right, a royal priesthood. A royal priesthood. Keep that in mind. Let's go to the definition of being a royal priesthood. And this is the same thing. I just brought it up in a different Bible just to get the entire definition. All right. This is Esau. If you like to go ahead and deal with that, look into that. The office of a priest, the order or body of priests. From the Strong's definition, it said priestly fraternity. That is a sacerdotal order, figuratively priesthood. That's more than one priest. And we just read in Hebrews 7th chapter, if you read the whole verse, it'll tell you in Hebrews 7:14, it's evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, which no man gave account of the altar of the tribe of Melchizedek, because that was the priesthood being changed. So when it comes to tithes, that would actually be for you to make a mandate that a man would have to pay you 10% for as according to tithes, as according to the law of tithes. That would actually be evil, man. That would actually be evil to make it a mandate that a man would have to pay tithes. And it's so beautiful. Let's go into this word right quick. Let me just pull up the word right quick and get something. Let's look at something right quick. Let me just want to check it out right quick. All right, as we see, let's see. All right. Okay. I just want to go into this word alms. I just want to look it up. And we all get it from Acts, the 3rd chapter and the 3rd verse. Who's seeing Peter and John about to go into the temple? All right. Asked an alms. Now, if you know that was the poor man, right? I want to do something right quick, and I'm going to try to be as fast as I can be. Now, you see this number that says G1654. All right. I want to go G1654. I want to do it that way, so you know we talk about the same alms and everything. All right, this is Yahushua speaking in Matthew the 6th chapter. In the first verse, take heed that ye do not your alms before men to be seen of them. Otherwise ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. Now, you could give alms, but tithes, when you give tithes, usually tithes are visible. Usually tithes are very visible. You see people giving tithes. And some people use that to motivate their spirit that I gave tithes. I put $100 in there. I put $40 in there. Come on, man. Let's look at this word. Alms. And the third definition gives you mercy, pity, especially as exhibited in giving alms, charity, the benefication itself, a donation to the poor, alms. Strong's definition, compassionateness. That is, as exercised towards the poor. Beneficence, or concretely, a benefaction, alms deeds to the poor. Okay? Charity. And the brother may be poor in spirit. Do you give alms deeds? When you go preach this word, when you go on the highways and the byways, of course you do. You give to the poor because this is the true riches. When you preach online and break down things and be a teacher unto them? Of course you do, because this is the alms deeds. It's not a mandate of tithes. That's what I wanted to get into right quick. And let's get back to what I was going into. All right. Let's get back into what I was going to, and I have one more scripture, because the mandate of paying tithes is freaking ludicrous in a sense. It's just crazy. It's 2017, and people, I can't believe, making a mandatory mandate to pay tithes, and people actually falling for it. Of course, like I said, in alms deeds, that's basically coming from the heart. That's charity. That's just giving. Nobody is making you do anything. You're not feeling compelled. Now, Matthew 23:23. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! Ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. Okay? These ye have to done, and not leave the others undone. Because the weightier matters of the law, which means there are other laws that are more severe, right? They're more harder to carry. Judgment, mercy, and faith. Judgment, mercy, and faith. We must have that. You can pay tithe all day. Without judgment, mercy, and faith, what have we? What think ye? Shalom.